Hello, my name is Shirley and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3's Merina Kingdom. In previous episode we managed to reduce the radical numbers at D's a bit. It's still not great, but it's at least a little bit better. Let's unpause. So we're currently trying to pass the Freedom of Conscience, which would allow us to pass the various laws regarding, for example, education and, well, the hospitals. Yeah, I believe it. Now, well, we could go for the private insurance already, technically speaking, but to go to the public health. Oh, right, no one's supporting that. Never mind. Alright then. But, like, at least if we could get rid of the religious schools and go for either private schools or even public schools, we'd be able to keep the education access fairly similar overall, and also start reducing the devout power a bit further, so clergy wouldn't be quite as strong, and thus the Conservative Party, which actually is currently just the devouts, because the landowners are the Agrarian Party, oddly enough. But yeah, that's something that we're trying to work for, and we're currently working on 3 more constructions ourselves, and then we are going to let the private sector take over for at least a little bit, so we can pay off the debt that we have. We're going to start using the investment pool a little bit more, because currently it's still accumulating. I think for the next playthroughs that I'm going to do of Wiki 3, I'm probably going to switch back to the old system, where I can decide what to build, and it's going to use the investment pool if it matches the sort of laws over here for the economic system, because I keep running into the problem. I mean, I suppose partially it's because I don't have enough construction sectors to cover for all of it, but at the same time it's like it's the extra expenditure for the economy itself is quite high when you're building with this new updated system, or updated considering the original system that they had in place. And it's just, every time that I just end up with a massive amount of money in the investment pool that will never get used. There's just so many buildings that I need to build myself, because I know that the private sector will not do those. For example, the government administrations, for example, and the barracks and such. Martyr. So that's 25% for 15% success chance, or we'll just take the minus 10%. We'll try. Okay, we did still lose it. So we get even more radicals now, for at least a little bit, from the animist sector. So it's entirely possible that this revolution will fire, so we'll need to keep a very good eye on that one. Ooh, rubber discovered in southern Madagascar. So that means that we'll be getting pretty good amount of migration towards here. There's a little bit of taxation capacity lack in here. We could probably get another government administration building. I suppose if I just built one building at a time, it's not going to be too bad for the construction pool. It's a lot of it still goes into the private sector's construction, which is currently building a railway in Oromia, for example, which, to be fair, yeah, it does need a bit more infrastructure, so that does make sense. We've got 170 bureaucracy right now. It's not quite enough, although what might be enough is increasing some of these institutions. We could increase one of them, or we could start saving up more points for incorporating Amhara. To be fair, incorporating Amhara would be almost 5 million extra taxpayers, but we'd need at least a few more levels for the... well, actually quite a few more levels for administration centers. Although, we're about to get a tech, we're going to get the fleet improvement. So what I suppose I could do, so I could go for the quinine to get that done, and then I'm going to go for the psychiatry to reduce the bureaucracy population cost multiplier. So that should be fairly effective, I think. After that, we might... actually, yeah, after that, we've got all the level 2 techs in the society category, so then we can go, for example, for the identification documents or something. We won't put that much stuff into the queue right now, because there might be some other things that happen, or we might need some other things sort of urgently. There we go, we got the max naval bases increased. More mass immigration to southern Madagascar, alright then. And now we could probably go ahead and upgrade the fleets that we have. So it is increasing the officers a little bit, less servicemen, and more officers. Increases the offense and defense, reduces the morale loss, and more morale damage. It basically doubles everything in there except the trading rate, but it's not too bad. So now we're still getting almost £11,000 per week. We got over 700,000 to pay back, so it's going to take a little while, although I suppose as soon as we get more of the government administration, especially the one in the southern Madagascar, that's going to increase the tax collection rate, because it's currently minus 10% there. And there's also more people moving in. But the standard of living seems to be doing fairly well. I mean, in a lot of this area, because most of them are Sunnis or Orthodox in here, so it is causing a bit of friction. And even if we get the freedom of conscience, it's not really going to improve the situation in that regard directly. Because animist is our main religion, is it not? Yes, yes it is. And animist, well, the religious trait is animist, and I don't think there's any other religions into there. So the other religions will not be accepted. But I suppose it, well, what it does allow us to start switching some of the laws in here, at least, like the religious schools, and that will be very useful regardless. Now, we do have a lot of bureaucracy. Let's have a look at how many trade routes do we have. We've got 0. Right, is there... Oh, there's a lot of demand for tools. Interesting. Also, I can see that all of this is having some issues, so I'm guessing the shipping... Yeah, the shipping lane effectiveness is a bit reduced. Because the French are currently at war with Britain. And apparently they might have some fights in Belgium, they got some fights in Africa. And lots of places in Africa. Oh, and did Burundi... Let's see, diplomacy. They've got a truce with Britain. So I think they got kicked out of the war already. So now it's just France versus Britain. And Britain's vassals. Rubber rush. Alright then. So now we get more rubber plantations here. We're going to have up to 28. Now, to be fair, is the rubber price any good here? Do we have any rubber plantations here? I don't think we do. Well, I suppose let's have a look at the prices in here. So, rubber... There's a little bit excess in the market already, so we don't need to worry about it too badly. Right, it looks like the radicalism of the state religion groups are slowly reducing. Ah, we got a little bit extra bureaucracy. I suppose it hasn't hired yet fully. Let's have a look at the low taxation capacity. It's only southern Madagascar that needs more. I'm going to build one more in there, so we'll get up to 5 total. That'll probably be good enough. We'll still make a bit more money, but I think what I should do, in fact... How many construction sectors do I have in here? We've got 2, so I'll get a 3rd one there. And I'll get a 4th one over here. Because there is a little bit extra population in Madagascar now again. So that's good. But I can get 2 of those, so that's going to increase the construction speed total to 120 per week. So, you know, it's at least a little bit increase, and that does mean that we'll be using up the investment pool a little bit faster. Because if we've got 35 million in there, I don't think we need to worry about that one too badly. Right, so now our infamy is actually low enough so that we could do our war against Tigray. Now, we do know that they've got quite a bit of troops, so we'll need to utilize our contrips probably quite a bit. And actually, what I might do... I know that we've got 1 general from here already. How many... So that is Sanji. That's garrisons. Oh, actually, no, we don't have a general yet. Right, let's just hire a new one then. Defensive strategies could be quite nice. Arrogant and Pillager, I'm not entirely sure about that. We could go for the Brave, but that would give it the Devout even more power. Popular Commander, though, so that allows us to command more. But I think the Brave is pretty decent. Minus 10% morale loss is very handy. So we'll take that one. And then if we have a look at the General itself now, so how many can you... You can command up to 48 contract battalions right now. If we put in, or promote you once... That's going to allow us to get it to 96, so that will be quite a large army. I think that'll be good enough. We'll wait for a little bit longer, at least for the law to pass maybe one more time. If it doesn't pass, then that's fine. It happens, but I'm trying to get that pass at least before the war, so the state religion thing might not be quite as upset anymore. Maybe. They might still stick around, to be fair, for all we know. Right, so there we go. The construction speed is pretty good. So now we're already making a bit more money from the investment pool. The investment pool is actually going down now a little bit. But that's alright. Backroom dealings exposed. I don't want to lose the bureaucracy, so I suppose we'll take that one and not pass the law. Which is a bit of a shame, because I was hoping to... Oh, well, we could go for the total separation, but that would radicalize the Devout even further. Now, is there any other laws that I could pass? Oh, I could go for census suffrage. Industrialists would not like that. But they wouldn't be radicalized. Trade unions, rule folk, and intelligentsia would like that one. On the other hand, we could try switching away from monarchy, because that does give landowners more political strength. If we go for presidential republic, that's not too bad necessarily. There's a lot of support for it, although Devout would oppose that. Okay, maybe we don't do that quite yet. What we'll do is we'll go for the census suffrage then. That's not going to radicalize anyone directly anyway, so that should help. Now we've still got almost 4 million radicals, and the loyalist numbers dropped quite heavily during trying to pass that law, but I suspect that now things are going to start calming down again. But I suppose since the revolution is going down, how about we start the war against Tigray? There's not a lot of nation... Oh, actually, that reminds me. How is our relations with Egypt? Cordial. We could probably improve those a little bit further. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to improve... Oh, I can't improve relations with Britain and France. We can't improve either. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the war against Tigray. They will be using a lot of their conscripts, so we can do that as well. So, Gonder, they got 5 plus 100. We'll have 15 plus a lot. I don't know how much exactly we'll have of the conscripts, but we can have a lot regardless. So let's go ahead and activate this army. I'm going to put it on the defensive for the beginning. And then let's go ahead and activate conscripts. That's 78 battalions from Oromia alone. That'll probably be sufficient because our troops are better quality. So as soon as we get more of the... Oh, and the revolution just disappeared immediately. Right, there we go. So they've started conscription as well. I'm only taking Gonder. They don't... They could, in theory, add in or bring in someone, but the options are Britain and Egypt, and both of us, for both of them, we've got pretty decent relations, so I'm pretty sure that we don't need to worry about this one. Got 20... Oh, our admiral has died again at some point. Right, well, let's recruit that one again. Although, technically speaking, I don't think we need an admiral right now, so let's keep those in reserve all the time, because they don't have a coastline, so trying to raid that is a bit of pointless. Confederacies of America are... Okay, they're trying to take southern Angola from Portugal. They're supported by Australia. The Portuguese, that is. And Algeria is supporting Confederates. Oh, Algeria is... What the heck is going on here? So Algeria is a puppet of Confederates. Do they have any other puppets? No, they've got a truce with France and Austria-Hungary. That happened, I suppose. We're going to get the quinine in a few weeks. Of course, there's not a lot of colonization that we can do, but it started reducing the modifiers from the malaria itself, which is quite useful. Oh, Great Britain sides with Portugal. Ho, ho, ho. So there's big wars, and it keeps the big players busy around me, so that's good. There's a lot of construction going on from the investment pool right now. Oh, Germany sides with Portugal. Who? Right, so there's two big nations, Germany and Great Britain versus Confederates. So Confederates are a little bit worried right now. There we go. We research quinine, and now we've got psychiatry, so that's going to start relieving a little bit more bureaucracy into the system. And after that, we might go... We're getting the repeaters right now, which would be quite handy. That will lead to the hand-crank machine guns and all that, which does increase the army defense and kill rate. Alternatively, we could try getting a bit more of the society techs. I mean, psychiatry is going to be done relatively quickly, I reckon, because it's going to start spreading, no doubt, as well. We could do something in the production as well, like go for pump jacks, because that would allow us to find some oil in, I think, in Oromia, or somewhere around here. At least sometimes there's oil found there. I'm not entirely sure if that's every time, but at least sometimes. So, we've got the advantage in numbers there. War profiteering. Oh no, we won't be ashamed of that. Intelligentsia will not like us quite as much, but they are still very loyal overall. Now with the... Oh, right, since we're hiring more and more soldiers with the conscripts and all that, the military expenditure, of course, is going up quite a bit. That does remind me, though. We're still on... Oh, we're on high wages on both of these. Okay, I mean, it does make our troops perform a little bit better. We could increase taxes if need be. We'd get quite a bit of income from there, but I'm going to try to keep the low taxes just to get a little bit more loyalists, perhaps. Or at least reduce the amount of radicals that we gain to some degree. Although with this conquest, we're going to get another 5.5 million pops, and quite a decent chunk of those will be radicals, so I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have in the end. But there we go, they've got 28. You know what, at this stage we could probably switch this army to attack. They're still gaining more and more conscripts over time, but we've got the numbers advantage, and their troops are line infantry with mobile artillery, at least the conscripts, which is the majority of the army, of course. Whereas ours is skirmish infantry with shrapnel artillery. And we got the first aid as well there. So we should be quite a bit more capable in these battles. If we have a look at the... yeah, they're getting a lot more losses in there compared to what we've taken thus far. I mean, they are defending, but we've got quite a bit of advantage in the quality and the number of troops, so this should be fairly quick war, I reckon. Well, at least a fairly quick conquest, and then we'll get a lot more population. Our total population will be over 20 million by then, which actually, how far... so we're currently number 18 worldwide. I have a feeling that after that we'll probably be around 15th or something. Not entirely sure, but that's kind of my gut feeling, that we'll probably be going up quite a bit in here. And then after that we'll start focusing on conquering the rest of Yemen. And that's probably going to be most of the conquest. I mean, maybe we could do a landing in Zanzibar at some point. Especially once we get Tigray, we'll get another 5 barracks from there, so we can have at least 20 battalions, just regulars, from Ethiopia itself, and those can do a lot of the landings and such. The Old Authority. Minus 10% success chance, and more radicals from the upper strata. Or, plus 20% inactive time, minus 15% success chance. I'm going to take the radicals. I'm going to try to get this law passed. Even though it's probably not going to pass, let's be honest, but we can at least give it a try. Oh, there we go, 65 battalions versus their 31. I think this is going to be a bit of a slaughter in here. I'm also losing a little bit more money, but I suppose once the war is over, the people can return back to their work sites over here. I mean, we've got 78 already, so that is quite a bit of, well, I mean, oh, right, employment is currently 51,000. Ooh, and all discovered in Timbuktu. Not that that really has an impact on us, but regardless. There's a little bit surely. This, I mean, we actually took quite a chunk already in there, so I think 3 more of these and we'll have pretty much all of it conquered. Especially since their numbers are going to be dwindling further and further, I reckon. I mean, I suppose they've got some... oh, they've got a lot of unemployed, actually. There's a lot of industry that we're getting from there, as well as a lot of agriculture. Right, so we'll need to do a bit of... oh, and there's a lot of railways there as well. I suppose, how's the infrastructure levels? A little bit over. Not the worst. Oh, we did a bit of a plunder there. That's not great. But there we go, there was only 1 battalion defending at that point. So now we're taking more than half of their territory in there, and their war support is dropping fairly quickly. Well, it's about 6 points per week right now. Oh, now we've got 82 versus 31 battalions. We're lost apparently, but so we won't be capturing as much provinces right now. But we'll see how it goes. But now we're losing £18,000 per week. So the more and more we hire the coal troops, the more we'll have to pay. And then unlocked, so that unlocks the synthetic plants, which actually, once we get the silk production, although that is quite a bit further, artificial silk, that's the level 4 stuff. And we haven't really done all the level 3 stuff either, so not really quite that useful for us yet. How's the... we've got 250 bureaucracy. Do we still have the tax capacity issues over here? We do, just about. So I'm going to get another government administration in here. That's going to cost us a little bit more in the construction side of things. But I think it'll be fine. And how's the market access, actually? It is 100% again, so I suppose France is no longer at war with Britain. No, they're no longer at war with Britain. And Confederates are fighting the British. Oh, wow. Damn, just 9 battalions have been holding off 90 battalions. That's pretty decent. Oh, and more parties have been formed. So let's have a look. Oh, legitimacy is illegitimate. Or government is illegitimate. Right, so we've got these 2. Oh, Social Democratic parties. You want to join the Radical Party, which is part of the intelligentsia. Fair enough. I mean, I suppose, can I actually move them in already? Oh, right now, I suppose if we put this in for the time being, we won't be passing any laws, I reckon, because that one... yeah, it's got 10% or 0% success chance, so we'll take that. We'll use the legitimacy during this election season. It may have cost us a bit more radicals and all that, but regardless, we'll hold this high legitimacy for the time being, and then after the elections, we'll switch to something else. Right, you need to switch to this side. There we go. They did actually manage to get an attack, but our troops got there just in time. And my goodness, they've lost already 20,000 men almost. For our, you know, well, okay, we've had wounded and dead for less than 2,000, but a decent bit of demoralized as well. That was a big battle. And we shall be winning this war. Actually, they would already take the peace deal, probably. Yep. Conquer Gonder. There we go. So now we can have a look at... Oh, wow, yeah, there's a lot of population. I'm just going to go through these buildings real quick. Finding cabinets. I suppose we could get a few more levels for this in here. It's going to cost us a little bit extra, but that's not going to be alright. And now that the troops are going to be sent back home, then that's going to save us a bit of money. Although, I suppose with this amount of construction... Oh, right, we've inherited some construction sectors as well, which are currently on the wooden buildings, so we can put those into the iron buildings, I suppose. So that's going to give us total construction speed of 130. Again, it's not massive, but it's alright for our current needs anyway. But there we go, we've got entirety of Ethiopia now, so that's good. Well, I suppose of the strategic region, there's still part of Eritrea that we don't have. I don't think I'll be fighting against the Egyptians anytime soon. Did we get 5 battalions from here? No, okay, so I'm gonna build up those and make sure that these are switched to the correct stuff. So now we'll be able to have the 20 battalions from Ethiopia at least. And did we... Where do we have one extra? Oh, right, we've got one in... No, we don't have one in there. Oh, wait, no, because we've got one in Gonder. Right, that does make sense. Getting another railway built up in Madagascar, that's good. So still losing £17,000 per week, but as soon as the government administrations have been built, that's going to increase our bureaucracy quite a bit, and I think after that we could potentially start incorporating this. There's a lot of tax capacity issues in there, to be fair, so we might want to just build a few more in there. So a little bit more debt. Oh, right, and psychiatry, that's going to be done soon enough. Let's have a look at the production. So there's a shift work. Economy of scale, building level cap goes up. Actually, that would... Wouldn't that would increase also with the agriculture, wouldn't it? So that's a possibility. I could go for the pump tracks. Suppose we're going to go for the shift work just to speed that up at least, and then we'll figure out what else we're going to do in there. So now we've got 6.16 million radicals. It is going down, admittedly. I suppose the election... So who's going to win the election? Oh, Radical Party is going to be the biggest one. That's actually quite good. And then Agrarian Party with the landowners is going to be maybe the second biggest, or maybe it's the Free Trade Party that's going to be the second biggest. But we might not need a second party in there in power, to be fair. So no one's particularly upset. There's some factions that or interest groups that aren't particularly loyal, but no one's too upset at least, so that's good. And there we go, the loyalist numbers are slowly climbing up, but partially because of the high legitimacy, to be fair. But if only we could have that intelligence or our heir in power. I mean, current ruler is already 75, so it's entirely possible. Oh, the intelligence is leader retired, I think. Yes. Okay, so who's the leader there now? You're a reformer. Compulsory primary school, okay. Oh, right, that's the child labor laws. Resisted child labor. We could go for that one. There's not a massive support for it now, but as the election, or once the elections are over, there's probably going to be quite... Oh, and even the landowners support that one. Okay, so that's going to reduce the mortality rates, increase the max education investment. That's actually quite good. That'll probably help at least a little bit with the... Like, we're still trying to get the literacy rate going up. I mean, it's currently kind of starting at 50%. Been there for a while. I mean, I suppose... Can we see the population over here? About their literacy rates? Not directly. There we go, the elections are over, so Radical Party is the winner. It's almost 65% of the votes. Damn, that's a lot. So I suppose we could just have them be the government then. Confirm. So now we should still have... we've got 32% chance of passing the restricted child labour law. And there we go, psychiatry unlocked. So now got 360 bureaucracy available. We've still got quite a few more government administration buildings underway, so we'll get the bureaucracy hopefully high enough to incorporate Amhara, because that is only going to take 5 years to do that. So we will still be able to benefit from all the taxes from there. And it looks like the radical numbers, they are going down at a fairly steady speed at least. Although probably not quite as much anymore after the election, because the legitimacy is just a lot lower. Now slowly letting the infamy go down, but how much... We still haven't gotten the relations with you. Casimid State, if I was to declare war on you, I mean, it would cost me 22.5 infamy to actually conquer you. So I'd rather avoid that for now. Although, if... Well, actually... Let's improve relations with Britain. I'm going to improve relations with Egypt probably as well. Actually, no, we can't. Let's have a look at the nations that could join in the war. So France, Russia, Ottomans, So let's start improving relations with Ottomans real quick. We've got neutral relations there. That does reduce our infamy a little bit. Or influence, sorry, not infamy. So, which does have a bit of an impact on how quickly the infamy is reduced. But I think it'll be fine. Oh, right, we got all the barracks and such underway as well. Okay. So how bad is the turmoil in on states here? So that's 36%, 29%, 33%, and now we've got 41% over here. Oh, right, there's a bit of a problem with the... I didn't check the railways, actually. But the steel carriages, at least. I suppose since it's not incorporated, the amount of infrastructure there is quite a bit reduced. Although it's actually not... Oh! Right, so it's not about that. Provence and Albania. So the no, it's fine there. Huh. Interesting. So technically speaking, it should be higher. Oh, there we go. Now it's 97%. Well, that's more like it then. Right, so now we've got already 486 bureaucracy, so it's not still quite enough to start incorporating this, although we're still getting more. So it will be done probably, or we can probably start this soon enough. We'll be losing a bit of tax income, but it's not too bad, especially once we stop constructing the government, or the public sector construction rather. And then we'll probably be making the loss to taxes back quite easily. So I'll just start incorporating that already. Again, we're going to lose a bit of money right now, but we're going to have up to 30 million in credit, so it's not too bad. I think we can afford doing a bit of deficit spending here for a moment. But there we go. Now we've got that, I think. Another one that I wouldn't mind conquering is Zanzibar, but Zanzibar we've got pretty good relations right now. I just wonder if we could... Oh, I can't do anything. They are independent though, so I suppose if we start damaging relations, it's going to cost us a little bit of influence, but that's not too bad. But we are currently amicable. They might start improving the relations as soon as they can. So who's conquering over here? Oh, it's a Bedouin uprising. And what? Okay, fair enough. This is called within the intelligentsia. Well, this war the bill will pass. So intelligentsia interest group pop attraction for 5 years minus 5%. But we get 15% more chance of passing this. Sure, I'll take that. And the trade unions are actually quite happy, so the workforce ratio is pretty good. Manufacturing industry throughput is pretty good. So the GDP, oh wow, it's 53 million already. That's pretty decent. But I do realise that we are actually out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Also got the links down below in the description, but other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.